As we come into John chapter 9, we see another great miracle of the Lord Jesus. Now in chapter 5, Jesus healed a man who had been paralyzed for 38 years. But this situation's different. From birth, this man has been blind, never able to see, congenital blindness. What a serious situation. And you'll notice that Jesus and his disciples walk to the man, and the disciples immediately begin to judge him. They make an assumption about him. What I would say to you is the one who's really blind maybe in this chapter are the disciples, because they assume God had punished this man because maybe of the sins of his parents or because something he did. Now, that's not how things work. We as Christians do not believe in karma. We believe in grace. We don't believe we get what we deserve. We believe Jesus took our place and got what we deserve on the cross. But back to the story, they begin to ask Jesus about this, and he says, no, this man has went through many hard years, but God will be glorified through it. God often takes our pain and he transforms it so we can be a blessing to others. And so Jesus does something crazy. He does the very opposite of what you and I would ever expect someone would do if they want to heal someone with blind eyes. He takes mud and he takes spit and he rubs it in the man's eyes. Last time I checked, that makes people more blind. Well, do you remember why John is writing his gospel? He wants to show us Jesus is God. And so think about this. How did God create man in the beginning? Genesis 2 verse 7 says he took dust, he took the dirt of the ground, and he formed man and gave him life. I think this is showing Jesus as God, as the creator. He's literally making new eyeballs for the man. And all of a sudden the man can see. Well, again, the religious leaders, rather than rejoicing, they're jealous and they're angry. And that's what happens when our lives get changed. The people that celebrate with us are the ones who know God, and the ones who are jealous and angry usually don't know God. And so at the end of the chapter, a little later on, we see that this man, because he testifies that Jesus had saved him, had made him see, he's kicked out of the synagogue. Now, this kind of reminds me of something Jesus said in John 6:37. He said there that if you come to me, I will never cast you out. The dead religion of those leaders cast the man out of the synagogue, but not Jesus. Jesus finds him. And you'll notice here in verses 36 to 38, not only does Jesus find him, but the man trusts in Jesus, falls down and worships him. And Jesus says, get up, what are you doing? I'm a man just like you. This is blasphemy. We can only worship God. No, that's not what Jesus does. Jesus receives the worship and changes this man's life forever. What a beautiful statement. He says, I was blind, but now I see. Why? Because Jesus is God. Jesus gave him physical sight, and he'll give you and I spiritual sight. We'll be able to see if we come to Jesus and are changed. I look forward to seeing you in John chapter 10 as we see one of the great teachings of the Lord Jesus Christ.